Hi, I'm Lori Courdy. I'm an assistant pastor at Vineyard at the River in Irvine, California. My husband and I, both assistant pastors, are in charge of Sozo ministry for the Orange County area. We are coordinated through Bethel. It's an international organization, and we do lots of inner healing. We have other inner healing ministries that we're in charge of, like Embracing Life Ministry, and other deliverance ministries.
How's the healing ministry helped you personally as a pastor?
Healing ministry has helped me because when I have somebody that I am counseling with or talking to or praying for, I often recognize the same traps have been set for them that I had walked through personally myself. So it's by personal experience and example that I have led people through lots of healing, emotional healing, physical healing, and spiritual healing as well. I attend my own healing process pretty much on a daily basis, but I also continue to go to Embracing Life. And I go through their materials and I read through their materials, and I have people that I also am held accountable to, that I'm really walking in the way that honors God in what I'm thinking and saying and doing, or matching up and lining up to the Word. It doesn't take very far off the path to get really widely disorientated from what God is really saying and doing. So to me, the most important thing is, if you are in leadership, you got a target on your back. The enemy wants to take you down. He's not going to use big boulders. He's going to use little trips. And so he's studying us all the time and working us over in our weak areas, not in our strong areas. So therefore, once an area gets strong in me, the enemy's not going to attack me in that area anymore. He's looking for another weakness. Therefore, my sanctification process continues, just as the Lord has said in His Word. We work out our salvation with fear and trembling. I am still working out my salvation with fear and trembling, knowing that the enemy would, any way that the enemy can take me down, he'll take down hundreds of people with me. If I fall, lots of people fall. Through our church membership, I had several people approach me about needing emotional healing from depression, from anxiety, from fear. And I had a good report about Embracing Life Ministries, people who'd taken the 14-week class, and people that I respected. So I took somebody that I had been counseling to Embracing Life Ministry because she was really suffering with anxiety and fear and terrible depression. And I went there because I took her along so that I made sure that she got there. And the second week, it was me who was getting the inner healing and the deliverance from some of my own fears and anxieties and depression that I didn't even really realize had an effect, because it was pretty deeply covered by my busyness and my work with other people. Sometimes I had neglected what my own pain was because I was focused on other people's pain.
So are you continuing your healing as you also extend healing to others?
We are the area coordinators and oversight for Sozo International. So people come to us from all over, but we especially do Sozo ministry on other pastors who have sometimes hit brick walls, are just flailing, sometimes emotionally spent, spiritually spent from their congregation, but they can't do it within their congregation. They need a safe place. So we see a lot of people through Sozo, but it's a 2-hour deliverance and inner healing time. Oftentimes they need to walk out their healing. Sometimes our stuff is just really bad habits, bad emotional habits, bad thinking, And so Embracing Life really helps you identify what the thoughts are that are holding you back and what the lies are that the enemy has perpetrated on you in a way that you have begun to think that it's kind of the truth. And Embracing Life really pulls back the curtain to reveal some negative thinking and unhealthy thinking. We live in Orange County, and Orange County seems to have the spirit of death. Well, it's kind of a death culture in that we have vampires and Dracula and all kinds of things that glorify death. And it's been surprising to me. I use the Embracing Life, renouncing the spirit of death prayer at least 75% of the time when I do a sozo. And that's not even part of sozo material. But it's so rampant to come into agreement with some sort of death thoughts that even sometimes feel sacrificial or like you're just putting yourself second. But underlying, there is a belief of a loss of value of who you really are. I often suggest people go to Embracing Life to have more of those lies exposed, yes, but to also practice that sanctification in their mind, that process of saying no to the enemy and yes to all that God wants and has for them. The material really brings up things that you sometimes we don't know, we haven't stopped to think about what we're thinking about. And Embracing Life actually makes you stop to think, what am I thinking about? Why do I respond this way? How does God want to change that in me? So Embracing Life is a process of walking out bad habits, bad spiritual habits, emotional habits, mental thoughts, to freedom with God. It's a wonderful process of ongoing deliverance.